a little more of a deep dive into some basic color correction when you attack a shot out of the gate. So this is what I did. This is the footage unretouched. It's a very nice image. I mean, it was a blue sky in the desert. You can't go wrong with this kind of lighting. But it just sort of lacks some intensity. This is just the raw footage out of the camera. And this is more what I'm going for. This is the color corrected. It's real subtle, but there's a little bit more vibrance to it. So let's start with, instead of, there's two directions you can go. You can go with a post-apocalyptic desaturation of color. And if you wanted to do that, you would start with very simply, see, where is it? Taking the, desaturating the color. So that I would go down to saturation here. And I just start taking some of that color out. Just a little bit. Not, this is full black and white, almost. But yeah, just taking away some of that skin tone. This is that sort of sad, overcast world. Takes the blue out of the sky. Takes away their skin tones, like they're pale. Like maybe there's a nuclear, post-apocalyptic sort of cloud over everything. Definitely take, we want to, as I discussed before, really making sure that the blacks are black. We got an armband here in her outfit and the window, and just really want to make the blacks, that gives it a nice baseline. So we're going to totally take that black down a little bit more. And then maybe pop out the highlights to make the blacks and the darks even more noticeable, to have some more contrast. So we're going to increase the contrast and increase the highlights a little bit. See her hair right there? Gets a little more highlighted. And the more highlights you have, the more the darks will play. Same with the shadows, maybe a little bit of the shadows. Could even bring the exposure down a little bit. If you want to play with color, you could even make it more cool, so it's really a sad sort of look. But actually that makes the blue sky more blue. So let's go back. Let's take that off. Let's go this direction. Oh, look at that. If I go more orange, it makes it actually look more sad. So that's what you do, is you play around with it a little bit. So so this is my post-apocalyptic look right now. I'll do two. I'll do this one. And then I want to match this shot with this shot. So let's remove the old color correction I did. To do that, you right click on the shot and hit remove attributes, and that's any effects you've put on it before. Now this is the flat footage out of the camera. We're going to match this shot to this shot. So the easiest way to do that is click on the shot, just highlight it. Not even highlight it, just like I guess activate it by clicking on it. Right click on it and you hit copy. Now that's going to copy everything, but I'll show you. It's in the next step. So you hit copy, and then you go to this shot and you right click on it and you hit paste attributes. Not paste, but just paste attributes. And that's going to paste whatever effects or color correction or anything else I did. And all I'm doing is pasting the Lumetri color correction that I just did. And hit OK. And now she's got the same color correction as she does. This shot is the same as this shot. You can always do some tweaking to make it work. You go back in, you can click on it, you can still click on this and do a little tweaking if it's not quite the same. But for my eye, it looks pretty good as a match. So now we're going to go to this other look that I like, which is the more vibrant post-apocalyptic look. Sorry about that. I like the desert look and the blue sky. They're kind of tan. So there's the guy in the ground she's going to kill with a crossbow. It's a dark commercial. So let's remove what I did there. Now we're back to the raw, sort of uncorrected straight out of the camera footage. So let's start with the exposure. I think I brightened it up just a little bit because it's the sun, it's the desert. Really increase the contrast. So it really pops the shapes and the people against the background. A little more highlight. But then we want to have shadows. We want it to, the contrast between lights and darks. And then a little more white maybe. And then I increase the saturation, which is the color. Because I want the blue to be blue, and the desert to be desert, and the skin, the tan skin to be tan skin. So just a little bit more color vibrance to it. And this is just in the first tab of color correction. I'm not even diving into the other tabs here. This is so much you can do in this one. And then I cheated and I added the vignette down here. It's the last tab. I just had a little bit of that. It kind of takes away that, see here's that sky, it's kind of flat. This sort of focuses it in, gives it sort of a weird darkness to it. Feather it. That's the shape. A little more darkness in it. It just kind of gives some shape to the flat blue sky, which is just all blue, you know. It gives it some roundness to it, like maybe it's a cloud or maybe there's a dark cloud of sadness, and the desert's very flat. But see, there's two different directions you can go in the same footage. More vibrant and contrasty, and more post-apocalyptic, sad, desaturated. Two styles, and all I did was use the first basic color correction tab. Didn't dive much deeper than that.